give me a sign. I need something to not give up the fight, 'cause I'm lost down the
Hi, I'm Mitch Gallagher. Welcome to the Sweetwater Minute. We have special guests with us here today. This is Gold, Frankincense, and Myrrh, or GFM is probably more what you're referred to these days.
Yeah.
So we have CJ on guitar and vocals, Maggie on bass, keyboards and vocals, and Lulu on drums. Great to have you guys here.
Yeah,
Appreciate
thank you for
stopping
having
by.
us.
They had the new single, Never Again.
Yes.
It just came out off of the EP, Oh the Horror. So congratulations on that. It's your third album or EP release, right?
Yeah.
Right?
It's a crazy one. We loved the music video for it. It was a lot of fun to film.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you guys are doing some fun stuff with the videos. I want to talk a little bit more about the video production, but let's jump back a little bit. You guys are out of Jacksonville.
Yes.
A lot of great bands have come out of Jacksonville. Leonard Skinner, Limp Bizkit. I mean, on and on and on. The list is really long. Tell us about how you got started playing and how the band came together.
We actually started, because we're all sisters, so we grew up in the same household and everything. And our parents, they wanted us to take music lessons once we turned 5. And they said, you know, you can take it, and if you absolutely hate it, after 2 years you can quit, but you have to do like the entire 2 years. And so we all started on piano, and we ended up falling in love with music. Celia got bored though, so she's like, I want to play guitar.
I did
And
not like
she had to
piano.
finish the 2 years, so she like ended up falling in love with guitar. And then when it came Lou's turn, she's like, nope, I'm not going to do piano. I want to do the drums. And we just were really confused. And my mom was fought it for a long time. She's like, I don't want drums in my house. No, it's too loud. And she just finally broke. So Lou played the drums when you turned like 4 and a half.
Yeah.
You weren't even 5 yet.
Yeah.
And then when I turned 8, I think.
Yeah, we just threw Maggie the bass because we started a band like in our living room just for our parents because they were big like Motley Crue fans and loved the 80s. So my dad was like, let's just create a little band, it'll be so fun. And we did, and we were covering like Skillet, old like Petra. And we were like, Maggie need to play the bass. And she's like this tiny girl and just this huge bass. Don't look those videos up on YouTube.
Right.
Don't look those videos.
Don't find those, right?
But yeah,
That's
it was
awesome.
all for our parents, so thanks, Mom. She's over there.
Right,
but-
right.
And
Well,
now
that's
we're
great.
here, which is crazy because we started as a hobby. And now that we're doing it, it's like our job is really cool.
Right, yeah, absolutely. So at 4 and a half, 5, were you into music yourselves at that point? Were you listening to things and seeking it out, or was it more that you had to sit down and practice?
I feel like when it wasn't us playing music, we just listened to whatever our parents listened to.
Yeah.
And then when it came to like learning music, we just did whatever was in like the curriculum, but like we were very like involved with it. We're like, oh, this is so much fun. Like, do, 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 do.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Right.
we love the 80s. I'm a big 80s fan, so.
As we
Right.
grew up, I feel like we began to actually fall in love with music and find what we liked listening to and what concerts we wanted to go see. And it's cool to kind of show that to our parents as well because we just got our dad into like some of the heavier bands, and it's fun to see his like favorite bands change into what our favorite bands are.
Right. So if I understand the history of the band correctly, about 2011 is when you kind of officially started the band and started playing covers and things.
Yeah.
Were you playing heavier music at that point? Or was that
Oh
when you
no,
were still
we
into
didn't even know what that was.
It was more like Casting Crowns and Skillet
some
stuff.
of the softer
so
stuff.
it was like hard rock. I don't know. It was just like rock music. There wasn't any screaming or anything, and it was just kind of heavy guitars with normal vocals on top of them.
We went to Rockville in, I don't even remember what year.
I think it was 2014.
And that was the first time we were introduced to like any type of heavy music, and Maggie was blown away. She was like, this is what I've always wanted.
I
Right.
found so many bands. I was drowning into music. I was like, I
Yeah.
love this.
And then we played a cruise. That was one of our like actual first gigs, which is like super crazy. We played with Breaking Benjamin, Motionless in White, and we had no idea who they were. We were just going like, yeah, we played cruise, go to the Bahamas, man. That's our first gig. And
Don't
I
look those
was,
videos up either. I might have been 15, so you were probably 16 and Louis like 12.
12.
Wait, I thought I was 15. 11.
And
11,
I don't even think we were playing to a click track, so we were thrash at that time. We were playing twice the speed.
Right.
But
It was just really cool to like find ourselves kind of through the other bands and like, oh, this would be cool if we did this music too. And so we kind of started to want to do our own music. And some of the the first EP and that music isn't as hard as the new EP, but the new EP is, we always say, is we really found our
that is
sound
our
with
sound.
this one.
It's
Right.
like in your face, but we definitely love the positive message. So you feel like good after listening to a song, not in that negative space, but it's just like a great way to love heavier music, and you can feel good about like loving heavier music. But yeah, that's us.
Right, sure. Well, you guys bring together a lot of different influences, because listening to the stuff that you guys have done, there's everything from screamo to goth to horror to metalcore to, I mean, there's just all kinds of, maybe even a little punk if you want to
yeah.
mix some of that in there. How do you blend all of that together, or what do each of those bring into the overall sound that you guys create?
So we definitely pull from our different sources. Like I love the punk thrash kind of feel to it. Maggie definitely loves like the
super heavy music.
heavier music. And then Lulu, you like the punk kind of feel, but like Lulu's a mixture of both.
Yeah, I like a mixture of both. And then we all kind of like have a poppier side as well, and it definitely helps our producer Eric Farnell. He brings in a lot of like the good, because we bring it in and he's kind of like the blender. He'll be like, okay, let's take this, and then blend all of our ideas together, which is cool to have someone kind of direct where everything should go.
We love pulling like from different things, because when you listen to a song, the next song you want to listen to is not the same thing. You want to have something different, and so that's what we love pulling from, because we love all types of genres. I love like opera. It's like that's what I was classically trained in. Like I can do the whole high notes and everything. We love pop. We love punk. We love like you could literally name it. Yeah. I love a ska band. We saw them in Virginia.
Called Dad Jokes.
I love ska. It's the greatest thing ever.
It was Illinois movie, I think.
True, yeah. But yeah, we just love pulling from everything.
And you call the amalgam of all those styles beautycore.
Yes, we
So
do.
is that the definition, just bringing all that together? What is the definition of beautycore?
So we kind of came up with it on our own. It was a joke, like a really big joke at first, because a lot of people were asking us what genre we were, and we just didn't know what to tell them.
Yeah. We're like,
and
we're metalcore, and people might be like, you're not metalcore. So we're like, oh, okay, I'm sorry.
So we were just trying to figure out, and we didn't really fit into any genre, and so we just one day we were like, hey, we're like beautycore, because we have like lipstick and we're girls and stuff.
Yeah, we're very girly on stage. But like Maggie can scream lower than like most guys I know. So it's like, what do you do with that?
Yeah. So a lot of the bands we were touring with heard it, and they're like, that's really cool. You guys should actually like run with that and everything. And we're like, okay. And we started posting about it, and like it's in Urban Dictionary, which is really, really dumb, but like it's in that, and a lot of female-fronted bands and like or female artists that we know have been.
A lot of people are tagging
up.
it. It's
like
become like
using,
its
the
own
hashtag
thing.
and everything. It's like the women movement in rock, like having that resurgence back of, hey, women can do this too.
Yeah.
Right, you guys have kind of established your own genre.
Yeah.
Almost on that. That's
A
very
lot
cool.
of people can say that. eh?
That's it exactly, yeah. So I was interested to see that your first EP was Death of Giants, and you actually took 4 of the songs from that and reworked them for Identity Crisis, which was your first full-length album, and they came out quite different than the original. Tell us a little bit about that, the progression of a song from when you write it to how you produce it to, in that case, rethinking it.
Yeah, it's
Well,
definitely all over the place. Like
Yeah.
it's never the same for each song.
Yeah, the EP that we wrote, we were all very, very young, and so when we went to do the album, we still really liked the song meanings behind them and just like the song overall, but we had new fans and we had just a whole kind of new band almost, just in the way of us growing up, and so we wanted to
Do them
bring
justice.
bring them back to light and redo some of them, do some of our newer talents, and just kind of grow up with them.
Because you didn't even have double kicks yet. Like
Yeah.
Lulu, like she is the
I think in the
beast at
beginning
them.
it was just we were changing or like adapting the drums and then adding new screams on them because
Yeah.
I figured out how to scream better.
Yeah.
And then we ended up just like redoing the entire stuff. So
Right. And then how do you see your sound as having progressed, aside from getting heavier, on the from the full-length album to the current EP?
Oh yeah.
I feel like it's just matured a lot. Like our vocals have been like we've really found our range, and so we've been able to really
like know where our
center
limits
that.
are and just
and
to
like dive into that and like
Yeah.
make sure it will sound the best that it can.
Also just experimenting with what your voice can go and like pushing those limits without hurting your voice and making sure we're taking all of the risks that, maybe, ooh, let's try this. I know it's gonna feel weird or maybe it'll sound weird, but let's see what this sounds like. And it ends up sounding really cool.
Yeah. And definitely the people that help us, like with our producers Eric Farnell and Billy Decker, showing us people like, well, maybe if like, you did something like this, it could help make something new. And just listening to people and taking their advice, it helps. Like, you can't do it by yourself. Listen to other people, guys.
Right. That extra input, and that all filters into the final production. So at one point you had said that almost every Monday you were sitting down to write music,
Yeah.
and then lyrics were coming later. Tell us a little bit about that. Did one of you bring in a riff or have a lick or an idea or something, or were you sitting down together and saying, let's come up with something?
Sometimes it's like that. Sometimes Lou just like runs in my room. She's like, listen to this. And I'm like, oh my word, it's magic. But yeah.
It's different every time. It's no like cookie cutter way of writing writing a song. I know some people have a pattern that they always do that works for them, but for us, we're
It's
kind of
just,
a
like,
little too
messing
ADHD for that. So we
Because
can
I feel like when we were writing almost every Monday, it was just we would write for a couple hours and then get maybe like a small section of a song done. And now when we go to write, it's like, no, we have to finish the song. So it's, we meet less to write, but it's more meaningful writing like sessions.
I know a lot of this past EP, the girls have written a lot from their lyrics from their past a couple of years through their message and just some stuff they've been going through. And it's music and writing is such a great outlet. And even if that you feel like, well, I can never play a band or I'm not musical, just writing out like your thoughts or making them into a poem, because that's necessarily what lyrics are, is just singing poems. It definitely helps. So it's a great thing to do. So just write down what you did that day or what you were feeling and just get it out.
it's like a personal diary, and then
but everyone's reading it.
it.
Everyone's reading it.
Right. So when you go into the studio, then are you completely rehearsed? Do you go in and lay it down as a band? Are you layering things together? What's the production process?
Most of the time we have at least like a rough idea of what
Yeah.
the song will sound like, and so when we demo it out for the actual CD and everything, the majority of the idea is there, and then like with harmonies or with extra little like sounds or whatever, I don't know what they're called, like the little trinkets and everything, we do that like just on the fly.
Okay, right. You mentioned the positive message, and you talked about that a little bit. It seems to me, looking at and listening to the songs in your catalog, there's a lot of them there about self-worth and dealing with yourself versus the outside world. Talk a little bit about that and what that means to your music.
We are Christians, but our message is just positive message, so we can play in more places and just
Like a universal
affect
message.
more people. And we can always say it doesn't matter what you believe. You could believe something else. It could be where you came from, but you can have to say that we're all human. So we're in this together, no matter what. But yeah, we're going to say like on stage what we believe because we're not hypocrites. We're not cowards. We know what we believe. So if you're open to talk to it, like that's great, and we love to talk to on stage, and that's what we definitely promote, that we want to know you. It's not just you come to a band, you love a show, and then you leave. We want to introduce ourselves and have that connection. We run our own social media through everything.
That's why we run everything, because we have fans reaching out every day, just they're willing to like pour their hearts out and talk to us and open up to us, and they're like, I've never told anyone this before. And especially now, I just feel like the world is such like a weird, like crazy place that everyone needs that someone to talk to. And so the fact that, you know, we can be that someone that they want to talk to, we love that. And we
encourage it.
We encourage our fans to talk to us over our DMs and open up to us, because if you don't, you just like let it eat away at you. It's not good for you.
And so many people are taking their lives nowadays, and so if our music can help bring one person back from the edge, like that's the reason we're doing it.
Sure, and you've had songs on that topic as well. So you mentioned social media, and you guys are very active in all the various social media. What has that meant to the success of your band?
I feel like it's helped a lot, just because we have a deeper connection with a lot of the fans that we have compared to like a lot of the bigger bands, which I feel like all the bands kind of started that way, and then once you get big, there's also like obviously a certain point where you can't communicate with every single person.
But we're gonna try to do that as long as possible.
Yeah,
I mean, we just
try.
went and got donuts with a couple fans because we were in the state. We're like, hey, we know you're from here. You want to go get donuts?
Yeah.
They're like, yeah.
I mean, you should appreciate the people that help you along, because if it wasn't for them, like we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be playing like on our 6-week tour, because who would you play to? No one. And I feel like you have to appreciate that, because no one goes to concerts really anymore. Like you can just watch it online. So it means something, and we definitely want to appreciate.
Our fans to be a part of it.
Yeah.
So like we give back to them.
Yeah.
Because they're giving so much to us. Like they deserve to have something back as well.
And it also helps promoting shows as well, because, you know, 40 years ago, you got to put up a poster saying, hey, we're coming to town. But now you just hit post and everyone knows you're coming to their city or their state. So
It's really convenient.
Yeah, sure. It's an easy way to reach out. So we were talking before the cameras were rolling here about some of the acoustic shows you guys have done, how that allows you to interact with your fans in a different way. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. So like a lot of when we play live shows and everything, they're so much fun, and there's so much energy, and I feel like sometimes that can take away the intimacy. And obviously it's a lot of fun, and people can definitely come talk to us at the table. But when we play acoustic shows, it's like the intimacy is there the entire time, and it's not
It
just
mellows
at the
it down.
lunch table. It's definitely a lot of. It gives us a chance to like creatively explore even more, because it's not something that's necessarily our forte, but when we're able to like dive into it, it's really just fun to see what we can come up with. And even just this past year with the new EP that we put out, we were able to do like acoustic versions with our producers, but also when we were just at the house, we were like, well, we have to finish more of these to have like a bigger acoustic set and everything. So we were able to sit down and just do it ourselves and come up with acoustic versions, and we're like, oh, we didn't know we could even do this.
Yeah.
Like, this is
Right.
really cool.
It's like a whole new rendition to songs you wouldn't even think of, because our songs are very like in your face and heavy, and the fact that you can like bring them down and be the same message, and it's like the same song, but it's not the same song. So it's kind of like a magic trick. So
Right.
we're like magicians.
Right. But that's the sign of a good song, right? If you can play it on an acoustic guitar and it holds up,
Yeah,
then it's not just because of the production, right? It's
Yeah.
because the song itself is going to stand up to scrutiny. So that works out great. Yeah. You mentioned videos earlier, and you guys are very active creating videos for YouTube, both official videos for your songs, but also your vlogs of the tour itself. Talk a little bit about both of those. So the official video side of it, and then the more fan-based, casual outreach videos.
We started it more like a diary for us, just to film what we do. Like
with like the vlogs and everything.
we go to a lot of zoos or a lot of like fun, like funky kind of things. Like we did like House on a Rock in Wisconsin, where this guy like, we see these like the greatest hoarder of all time, like in this mountain
the
heat.
best episode of Hoarders.
He has like a whole bunch of carousels inside this mountain, a whole bunch of like collectible stuff, and it's some things like we wouldn't never see because we're from Jacksonville, Florida. Like that's in Wisconsin.
We wanted a way to remember the tour, and then our fans started to really fall in love with it. And so now it's just, what can we do for the vlog? How can we make it interesting? And we all love watching YouTube videos, so we wanted to kind of have that as well. So not only can you be fans of our music, you can be fans of us just as like people.
Yeah,
and
it's a
being
good
weirdos.
reminder
Yeah.
to let people know like we're just normal people. Like we might be up on stage and we look like these huge personalities, but like we're normal weirdos. So.
Like on our off days, like see just like blur my face. It's so bad because you just really see all sides of GFL.
yeah,
on tour
you see
vlogs.
all sides because we really don't care.
Right?
And then our music videos, all of them that we filmed have been like all different, but they're all really fun. So the most recent ones that we've been filming are more of a storyline.
Yeah, which is really cool because we've never done that before.
Yeah.
It's pretty much always just been playing in a room or playing with a little bit of a storyline, but now we've kind of dived into this world of let's like make cinematography. Is that what it is?
I think it's because we wanted to make a story. We're huge Marvel comic fans and DC and sci-fi.
Huge sci-fi nerds.
So we were like, let's do something ourselves. Like a lot of the trilogy of videos we have, they don't have like this secret meaning behind them, but it's more of like
We just wanted to tell a story.
wanted to tell a story, and just it's cool like through powers and you just gotta watch the videos to understand, man.
Yeah,
So.
we have like crazy special effects makeup that we just did ourselves.
Yeah,
so
we
it's
just did that ourselves because you know
we have like fight
we're,
scenes that we
talented
like
that. I'm just
bring
kidding.
out. Like, hey, let's do this fight scene, and the director's like, yeah, let's do it.
And it's really cool because our director for it, we went to like jiu-jitsu school with him when we were little,
Like, real
and now
little.
he's going to SCAD to be a director. And so we just called him up. We're like, hey, do you still want to do a music video? Because he
just
wanted
so
to like
cool
a
how
long
things-
time ago when he
Oh
first
my word.
like was trying to get into SCAD, and so he like was like, yeah, we'll do it. And then now we have his whole company behind it and everything, just promoting with Ubiquity Creations because they're SCAD graduates and they were friends with him. And he's like, hey, do you guys want to jump on it? So like we have this whole big production, and it's just for like let's ask for a little band.
Yeah, it's cool.
Right. Two of the bands that you have pointed to in the past for different reasons, one was Slipknot for the characters in the stage presentation, and the other was Periphery for the kind of do-it-yourself kind of approach to things. Talk a little bit about both of those aspects of the band. The do-it-yourself aspect, you guys are an independent label, correct? And you're promoting yourself with social media, so there's a lot of, you're working on it yourselves. And then of course the stage show, you know, there's a big stage show that's associated with you guys as well.
Yeah.
We love this stage show.
We love to say like our music is like if you want someone to reference to, it's kind of like if Avril Lavigne or
Barlow Girls.
Haley from Paramore was the lead singer of Slipknot. So it's like those vocals, but like we're in your face and like this big production.
Yeah, because it's all about the show. People, they want to listen to our music, they can buy the CD and listen to it. So when they come to a show, we want them to like see the music and be able to put the music to
feel
a
the
memory.
music,
And we want to have just as much as we can do, fog, confetti, like sparklers, cupcakes. We started throwing cupcakes off the stage, which is really fun. And it's just, we want to like be free, like let loose. So people are so serious in the metal genre, and
We
so
just
it's
having
like
fun, and I
let's
get
be
to do it with my sisters. I go back and I poke fun at Lulu, and she like does funny faces. Like it's just it's a great time.
She tried to spit water on Cedar and it just like went in her lap. She's like, oh, that was really
We just
sad.
want to have fun on stage, and when
want,
we're
like-
having fun, the fans are having fun. So
And we just want to create like a night to remember, even if it's just an hour for our fans to come back home and be like, man, that was like a really cool thing. Did you see what they did here?
But and we definitely do like do it all by ourselves. We're very independent. We appreciate the people that help us. Like we were just talking to Alex and Samantha, and it's just amazing that these people help us because I mean, we're doing it by ourselves. Like Lulu does all the videography, Maggie does a lot of the marketing and sending emails out. A lot of the merch, a lot of the social media. I do a lot of the merch. I set it all up. We don't print them. We have companies we go to that help us out. But like we do the designs. Yeah, it's crazy like the opportunities that God gives us because I mean it's just us three sisters and like our mom and dad, and we started it by ourselves. So we're very grateful for the people that help us out. And
Sure.
Yeah.
Right. So I believe that the three of you are a great influence and example for both getting women into music and also young people into music. And I always have to ask when I'm talking to a younger band or a female band, do you get a lot of the for your age, for women qualifier kind of thing? And how do you deal with that?
We kind of
just laugh it off.
don't care. I mean, we get to do
it's
what
still
we
a compliment,
love.
so we're just like, oh, thanks. But it's like at the end of the day, like we still know we're good for who we are. Like it's not just because we're good because we're girls or we're good because we're like under 20 years old. Like it's not just because of that. It's because we're actually talented. And that's the reason people are coming to the show.
And it's also like not the reason we're doing it. We're not doing it so that people come and we're like, oh, Ward, you're so great. So it helps that we're not just doing it to like feed our ego.
When you have that mindset, like people can say whatever they want, like you suck. I'm like, that's your opinion. Like good for you. Like you're still here at the show, so it's like, I don't care.
You win, right?
Oh my word. Woo.
Right.
Gotcha.
Right.
But yeah, it's great we get to do it as a family too, because we get to sit each other down and like if we're going through something, because tour life is hard. Like you're away from home and
away from your doggo.
away from our dog, but we get to talk it out. We're very open with each other. We're very hot-headed too. So people are like, I can't believe you get along all tour. Like, no, we do not. That's cut out of the tour, our tour vlogs. But it's great that we're very open with each other. So like, I can be like, Lulu, you need to calm down. Or she's like, CJ, like your attitude is a little whack. You need to chill. And so we're open with each other. You have to, because if you don't, you'll go crazy. So.
Right. It's a different dynamic than a band of people who aren't family, if you will.
Yeah.
You know, bands kind of become
I don't know
families
how they
after
do
a while.
it. Yeah.
We always tell people we
kill
don't
my
know how,
members.
like just random, like even if you're best friends, we don't know how you do that because it's just, we know we have a connection because we're sisters and we have to, and like we're not allowed to lose that connection.
It's like
Right.
you're not allowed to leave the band.
It's like you're not allowed to. We're sisters, so you don't have a choice.
Right. So what advice would you have for women and for younger people who want to get into the industry and who want to start bands and make music?
I would say don't rely on anyone to like make you that first step. You have to make that first step because you're not promised tomorrow, and it's just like do it yourself.
Yeah, that's a
'Cause you
lot of,
can
like,
now.
what we've just been experiencing is just like the only person who's going to do it the way you want is you. So you might as well stand your ground and
Take it by the reins
Yeah,
and
take it
just
by the
go.
reins.
Also, just like work hard because your future self is going to be very appreciative if you work hard today and you put 110% into it, because then it's a lot easier in the future. You can sit back and just enjoy like all your hard work that you did and really enjoying that work as well, making sure it's not, oh, it's just the job I have to do, making sure that you're enjoying it.
Like and
every
doing what you
step.
want, because that's a very big thing we've learned with this EP, just how much more fun it is to play, and
Because
just
you're gonna have to play
experience.
those songs every night.
'Cause we did
you
it-
better
yeah,
like them.
You
Right.
did the way you want it, and like didn't let other people influence what you were putting out and everything, and just standing your ground and saying like, no, this is who I am. I'm not gonna apologize for what I want or what I'm like putting out. Like this is what's gonna make me feel good to play, and hopefully give a good message out there to fans that at least what we believe.
Yeah.
So.
Right, absolutely, great. That's all great advice for anybody who wanted to get into music or any of the arts for that matter. So thank you very much. So you're out for a few more nights on this leg of the tour, and then you're back out in August and September. You're off to Germany, so you're touring the world, man.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Congratulations on the new single, Never Again, and the EP is Oh the Horror. I appreciate you taking time to sit down.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Absolutely, please come
Also,
back.
thank you for interviewing us.
Oh, well, it's my pleasure. I hope you'll come back again. And I would love to have you play the Sweetwater campus here in somewhere for me. It'd be great.
Yeah,
Right on.
slide down the slide a couple more times.
There you go. Enjoy the slide,
playing.
right. Thanks, Ken. Appreciate it very much. And thank you for joining me for the Sweetwater Minute. I'm Mitch Gallagher.
I feel sad.